Yeah, I can't remember now. Was it 1800 or 1900? Probably 1900.
A real silver dollar?
Yeah, it was, and I was under the dirt.
And
So I
this
was
is
manipulating
Tahoe?
the dirt, yeah,
Up
on
in
that
Tahoe?
trip, right there next to the river. So I still have that. To
Do
this
you?
day. I did.
Oh, it's probably worth something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Could
anyway,
be.
it was a pretty good find. I took it back, and they're all going, "That's a silver dollar," that was a big deal for me. So, like,
But it was
"This is
okay.
cool. Now
So
put
it
your
was
tent up."
that was that same trip, but they just partied too hard and they couldn't get the tent up and just decided to go to bed. And
It was
Dad
so
said
fun.
people were standing there staring at it and just said midgets.
Midgets. Dad had a sense of humor.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy,
he was
he
funny.
Oh, he was so funny.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I just remember him telling the story.
So you went to junior, is there anything else until you started junior high that you can think of?
I
A
remember
lot, but I
your
don't think I want
girlfriend.
to talk about it.
I
Well,
remember your
yeah.
girlfriend. What was her name? 8th grade. What was her name?
Terry?
Terry.
Yeah.
You
Oh
guys
yeah,
were together
I remember
quite a
Terry.
while.
Started,
Yeah,
the last name
actually, I
started with
was-
an H?
No, Birkin Pass.
Oh, okay,
It'd
never
be-
mind, that's a B.
Yeah.
This goes beyond that era, but I don't want to forget it. This was so cute when Mom and Dad had moved to Idaho, and Cameron was just a little guy.
Oh, way beyond, yeah.
I didn't even have Courtney yet, and we all went skiing at Sun Valley, and Mom and Dad, I think they took care of Cameron while George and I went skiing. And the last thing Mom said was, "Don't break a leg."
Yeah.
We come back, and Mom had slipped on ice,
Oh, no.
broke her
Yeah.
leg.
Again?
No, just that one time.
She did that in Bunny Hill Heavenly.
Yes, again,
Well,
that
'cause
would
she
be her
broke her
second
leg.
break.
Yeah,
That would be her
before
second
my
break.
wedding. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
It was her
Yes.
second break. Yeah, and I remember that Cameron was in the hospital underneath the gurney fixing it because the orderly couldn't get it up, and Cameron
Oh my gosh,
figured it out
baby.
for him. Yeah.
Oh my
It's always
God.
and
So
but
you just said Mom broke her she
Leg.
broke her leg skiing, but you said Heavenly. Was that a Heavenly ski?
did I say heavenly?
No, you
No,
said
she
Sun
did.
Valley.
Her
No, she said
first
Sun
break was
Valley.
at what-
No, when she broke it skiing.
her
No,
Or
that
were
was
they-
at Donner Pass.
Donner Pass.
Oh, I thought it was Heavenly.
I'm sorry,
I mean
no,
Donner's-
not Donner Pass. It
Donner
was
Pass is not a ski resort.
That was 2 weeks before my wedding.
I could have
Was it?
sworn it was the Bunny Slope at Heavenly. No.
No,
I don't know.
no, it was
Okay,
at
whoa.
Didn't you break it in the
no,
ice?
it's right outside of Fresno. We were with
Okay.
Doc and Dee.
So it's down south.
Yeah.
By Big Bear, maybe.
Her first
somewhere
break?
around
No, it wasn't Big Bear. It was a
Mammoth.
little
Okay.
tiny
Her
Mammoth?
place.
second break was
Mammoth?
Idaho. She broke her
It
leg
was
in
a little
Idaho,
tiny
right?
place, and it'll come
That's
to
the
me
second
tomorrow,
time.
I'm sure.
In
But
Idaho, right?
No,
no.
She broke her leg in Idaho.
Well,
Second
that's-
that's the second time.
Second
The first
time.
time,
The
was
first
ski
time
school.
it was
2 weeks
at-
before my wedding.
She was so upset with that first break. I remember Dad served her food
It's
on
a
the tray. She
butterfly
was so
break
mad she
there.
took the tray and she threw it on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It was just food, whatever. He was trying to help her.
At Chandra High?
Mhm.
Because she was in a wheelchair.
She was
huh?
mad.
Oh,
Yeah.
She could get nasty when she
Oh,
Yeah,
was
she could get nasty
Yeah.
when she was sick.
Yeah, she didn't do well
Hmm.
with stuff like that because she had.
Well, I just didn't know where we were. I was
Yeah, it was-
just about 50 yards beyond, wondering what was taking Mom so long.
Right.
I was
Remember,
there,
it
but
was
I
a
had no
very,
idea.
it was a little tiny bunny
Yeah, it
hill. It
wasn't
was
much.
nothing. And
Uh-huh.
Mom just,
And that was the
she
spine-
did a spin.
The
Gosh,
spiral
what was the name
fracture
of that
was-
place?
Was that the first or second time?
First.
First time.
That
yeah.
was her first for your
Oh,
wedding.
Yeah, it was a
It was a
bad
spiral.
one.
It was
Yeah, it
spiral.
was
Yeah,
bad.
spiral.
It
They had to
really
put a
bad.
thing in, right? Didn't
Yeah.
they?
And I
Something
I remember she said it was a bunny hill. She wasn't even
No.
doing any tricks
Yeah,
or
but
anything.
no, in Idaho, that was her second break, and she was walking along,
In a
the-
restaurant, right?
going into a restaurant on the deck, and there was ice, and she just
Oh my gosh.
slipped and fell.
Mother
And
fell a lot. She would fall.
yeah.
I inherited that one.
So
Another thing that's cute that Mom did when Whitney, I don't know if you were there or not, Whitney got lost in, she was 3 years old. We were at a Embassy Suites going to Disneyland.
I was there.
You were
Yeah,
in there.
I was there too.
I
Yeah.
was all there.
Remember that?
Up
Yeah.
on the
We
elevator?
found her way up.
Yeah.
Well,
was there.
actually, what happened, they literally closed off the doors, security. It was 15 minutes she was gone. That's
Oh
a
my
long time for
Yeah.
a
Oh,
child.
we were all
You must have
panicking.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was-
I was there.
And I remember looking at Mom, and she
Especially
looked at me
Disneyland.
and she goes,
Pray.
oh, and I looked up,
Yeah.
and there's Whitney,
Yeah.
11
Yep.
stories
Yeah, she
up,
was way
looking
up on the
down.
elevator.
She had gotten in the elevator, but Mom saw her because she said, I lifted up my eyes to pray, and there was Whitney.
She was kneeling down with her
Or
little.
take
Yeah, I
glass-
remember that. She
Or
was
Or
good.
take glass
Yeah, just
elevators
smile
too,
away.
so you can see inside the elevator, or
Um,
maybe not, but.
Well, what happened is the kids all wanted to go play in the
Yeah.
in the video game thing, and I said, "Well,
Remember
take care of
that.
your sister." Well, Cameron and Courtney just took
Yeah.
off and left her in the elevator. So she's like, "Beep,"
Yeah.
pushed the button, went up to the 11th floor, and
Yeah.
oh yeah. But
Why
yeah,
were
Mom
we
was so
all
cute,
there?
just
Sheena
praying.
was
It
there
was
too.
just a
It
family
was-
trip to
it-
Disneyland.
It was a family trip to Disneyland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, do you guys remember the family trip to Disneyland
In the motorhome.
in the
Oh,
motor?
yes.
Yes.
Even I laughed so hard, I remember.
Oh
sitting
my
in the
gosh.
bumper and
That when
like
Clay was
fighting or
little,
something.
Brian and Brad.
Yeah,
So,
Mom and Dad had all the grandkids in the motorhome.
Yeah, before we left,
I can't
before we
remember.
left, Dad had all the grandkids line up by the oldest
Oh,
down
I
to the
remember that.
youngest. And
They
they
do
had,
this
and they had all salute
Yeah.
Papa, and I don't know what else, but whatever he said, I have no idea. Do you guys know? I have no idea. But
Probably a
Hip
teacher.
hip hip hooray! He
Oh,
went to
yeah,
that.
that was-
Hip hip
But
hooray!
anyway, and we all took off for it because it was a really special thing where the Disneyland was closed to the public.
For the dental.
Just the dentists
Oh,
could go.
And we didn't have to stand in
That's
lines.
right.
We could
Yeah.
go
That's
on
what we were
all the
all doing.
rides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were,
Yeah, Uncle Kenny got us into
Yeah.
the dental thing, and so
Right.
we didn't have to stand in line for rides. You
Yeah,
could just go on anything you wanted.
It was
really
wild.
fun.
and Jerry and I stayed in Uncle Kenny and Aunt Florence's they had a little teepee kind of a tent.
Uh-huh.
And Mom and Dad had the motorhome.
Hmm.
Do you know where you guys stayed?
Well, I can tell you that one night, yes. We were in the motorhome. Marianne, do you remember you were up on the top bunk?
Yes, laughing so hard I almost wet my pants.
We-
Did you too?
We're cracking up because, well,
Somebody was
the
farting.
No, it was the septic
motorhome
system.
septic tank backed up.
Oh,
Awful smell.
it was
okay.
horrible.
And Wilson and I were on the bottom bunk. Marianne was up there.
But
We had the
Debbie
windows
was too.
open.
is this your
Mom-
motor?
No, this
no,
is
this is
That's
way
why
Mom and
before.
Dad.
was
Mom-
farting.
motorhome.
It smelled
And
like
Mom
it.
and
It
Dad
was
and
this way.
Uncle Kenny and Aunt Florence were out partying, having, but as we could hear them coming, we had the windows open because the smell was
Yeah.
awful. And Mom and Dad are walking, they're getting closer and closer, and all of a sudden you could hear them, they were going, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're all asphyxiated in there. It smelled so bad.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah. But also, so the next morning, we have Clay, Brian, and Brad, and Billy.
Yeah,
Billy?
yeah, all the
Was
kids.
Billy there?
And
Yes.
yeah, and Jamie, everybody was there.
I don't remember Jamie.
Well,
Yeah,
but
she
it
was
I-
there.
No, but I mean, what
Oh,
I'm,
but I know what
the
you're gonna
incident
say.
I'm talking about
okay.
was the boys.
Yeah.
The
The
boys.
boys were running about.
They were in the clubhouse little area.
Yeah,
Oh,
where
I
the
know.
desk is, they're running around and
Oh, I
everything, and I
remember
was
that.
I started chasing them, and this one guy came out,
The,
to me-
the owner,
the
manager.
manager, right,
Yeah.
said, hey, pointing to Clay.
Your son.
Your son.
Well, no, he just said that boy over. He
Said-
said all these kids
No,
can come
but
back
that-
except that one right there.
Yeah, but I'm
Oh, dear.
saying that Clay is her son,
Right,
just so
but-
Right,
that
he
it's
said,
clear.
He didn't
tell
know.
his mom to come and get him because he's just out of control.
Right.
And I said, okay, I will.
I'll tell you
And
something.
Brian was running and he
Your
turned
husband?
around and he
Brian
said,
goes,
but Bev, you are his mom.
Who said that?
Brian,
Right in front of the guy.
Bev, you are his mom.
right in front of the bill.
Yeah.
But what I remember
Oh, that's
about Jamie, Mayor,
Yeah.
now I don't know where I was sleeping then because we
Yeah,
were
there
we must have been sleeping.
we had some other
We had a good
people
time.
have
That was-
motorhomes or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
remember where I slept.
Remember the little
I don't
pastry
remember.
person would come around and they'd toot toot this little whistle as they drove through the RV park
Okay.
selling pastries. And little Jamie, we were all still sleeping and trying to wake up, and this little doo, doo, she goes, I think I hear Tinkerbell.
Oh,
that's so
She-
cute.
yeah, I think I hear Tinkerbell.
Oh gosh.
She was
You
really
guys
little.
really get off,
What year was
really
that?
get off track here on the
Well,
chronology.
Well,
Yeah.
We do
well,
this. It's
now
just
we're
fun.
jumping around. We were doing pretty good chronologically there for a while, but now we're bouncing all over.
Yeah.
Well, because there's kind of a,
Yeah,
high school years. Of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to tell those stories?
No.
What year was that? What year was that?
Had
That
to be
trip.
like
By the way,
70.
nobody had more parties at Jan Drive than we did.
Really?
Oh, we had more,
You guys?
we had more
did.
parties there
Yeah,
than
we did.
More
all
parties
of you
than
guys.
I did.
Yeah. We had
times it by
all-
10.
Yeah.
Whitney was.
That's why we're
I didn't have a lot of
Oh,
time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
No, Debbie was.
I don't want to get